is it good to do affirmations every night before night? Do you mean every night before bed, or do you need to take breaks? When you're new to it, it's good to do things in a regimented way to get into the habit of thinking the new things and kind of saturate the subconscious mind. But just be careful to not make it like a belief that if you miss a night that you're not going to get what you want or whatever. Remember, it's not the tools or the techniques that manifest, it's you. So it's good to create the habit, the more positive habit of thinking in line and flipping opposing thoughts and all of that. Because I also encouraged more so when I first started teaching this, like, manifest in all areas. Because there'll be areas of your life that you feel least resistant to. And when you see those things happening, it helps build your belief. Same with the mini manifestation list, same idea. So yeah, like it's good to do it, but also keep in mind as well, it's your most consistent thoughts and your subconscious beliefs, which are programmed by your most consistent thoughts or anything you see, hear, think, and say enough times that your mind takes it as fact, that are manifesting. So you can do your affirmations at night, but what are you also thinking throughout the day? You need to be making sure that you're not constantly putting yourself in front of the old story, because that'll make it harder to change it to the new story, and that you're also being aware of your thoughts through the day as well. Because you have, like, we don't know exactly with, like, however they've measured it, but it's estimated that we can have anywhere between, like, we could have anywhere up to, like, 90,000 thoughts a day. Most of those are subconscious. Don't let that panic you, right? But yeah, like a regimented way of going about things initially can be good, just to saturate your mind. But yeah, there's such a fine line between doing that and people getting into that obsessive sort of place as well. So where I've kind of changed with that is, if you're doing the things I say, the cheat codes, you'll be able to just kind of focus on the thoughts as they naturally pop up, as opposed to, like, focusing too much on doing regimented things, because that can become obsessive for people, particularly who gravitate towards the law of assumption, because, like I said, it clicks for people who have analytical minds or overthinkers or come from, like, trauma pasts, right? But when you're focusing on the nervous system regulation, doing feel-good things and things like that, you'll naturally it'll be easier to think more in line, and you'll have less opposing thoughts naturally. And that's just, like, that's the smarter way as opposed to the harder way, right? And I just laugh when I say it, because I know that a lot of people will be like, well, but I gravitated to the law of assumption because it says the thoughts, and then you guys just solely focus on the thoughts. And I just don't want you to end up where I ended up, because I did that. So I'm laughing because I know a lot of you will ignore my advice initially to do the nervous system regulation and focus on you and do the feel-good things, self-concept work and all that shit. But trust me, it's the better way. It's the smarter way. It's going to avoid a lot of pitfalls. Devlin, SP's birthday is today. Is sending them a message considered chasing? What's your motivation behind doing it? Is it to hopefully hear back from them? Then yes. If you can do it, do you feel anxious about the idea of doing it? If you can do it and not be concerned with the result, not expect anything to come of it, whether it's a response or them feeling obligated, like, you don't want to do anything that's coming from a place of, like, trying to obligate them to message you back, hang out with you, etc., etc. So check in with yourself. I have a video on self-check-ins, but I don't know how far down the feed it is. So do you feel anxious about doing it? Do some breath work before, if you decide you're going to do it, do some breath work first and see if that eliminates some of that anxiety. Will you be okay with whatever the result is of the action you're taking? Are you doing it from a place of fear or to try and force some sort of obligation? I just saw something that made me laugh. Do you know the good thing about working on myself is that, like, nothing anyone says to me anymore could make me feel shit about myself, can make me question myself. That's why that... Can you see the comment? I'll mute it because it's just stupid. Also, like, just so you guys know, because, like, often my followers get really protective of me, and it's like, don't even acknowledge them. They want your energy. Like, don't give them your energy. That was funny. Hi. What is it, Ilya? What can you do when you feel sometimes good with your manifestation and sometimes don't feel? You're going to have moments, right? But just remember that it's not your feelings that manifest, it's your thoughts. And you're always going to have opposing thoughts to some degree because it's part of your survival instincts. Ways to mitigate it or minimize it is to focus on you, do your nervous system regulation, and do things that feel good, like things for you. What are things that you enjoy doing? Don't just sit at home focusing all your time and thoughts and energy on your manifestation, because that's also giving more opportunity for opposing thoughts to pop in, thoughts of the when and the how, which just create more detours, okay? So what are like some Google free things you can do in your area, cheap things you can do in your area, and have a splurge thing that you really enjoy doing and set $10 aside every pay for it or something. And yeah, when you feel good, you naturally think less opposing thoughts. Obviously, even if it's not your feelings that manifest, it just helps the process. So, and also, like, if we want to get sciencey with it, neurons that fire together wire together. So when you're doing things that you enjoy, even if it's not the feeling of love or the feeling of wealth or abundance or whatever, if you're generally just feeling good, and the thoughts of the thing that you want naturally pop into your mind and your body start to connect the positive feelings that you're feeling with the thing that you want, which helps you remember it in more favorable ways, as well as create, like, you know, you might have heard the term future memories, because everything's just a created image associated with whatever feeling with a created image in regard to how we've, like, processed something and the emotion we've assigned to it, essentially. So if you can purposefully do things that feel good, that are unrelated to your manifestation, when it naturally pops into your mind, you'll start to associate, your body and your mind will associate the good feeling with the thoughts of the things that you want, and will help you naturally just think more in line. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's why I say to do these things. I say it all the time. It's manifesting smarter rather than harder. Can you affirm through all the shitty feelings and all the shitty circumstances that you're forcing yourself to be in because you think it's the logical link to your manifestation to be there? Like, yeah, you can do all those things, but some people will give up before they get the thing they want because it's hard. And some people will still get what they want doing it that way, but they've put themselves through all this unnecessary stress and fucking anxiety and given themselves more things to have to counteract with their thoughts, you know? Why would you choose to do it that way when you know, and I'm telling you from my own experience, that there's another way, an easier way, a more fun and enjoyable way, and to me, a more sustainable way. Instead of relying on your thoughts to rewire all of the shit that's being stored here and stuck on a loop, you're actually hacking the system by rewiring both at the same time. Okay? You're welcome. Am I saying it right, Ilya? Yes, perfect. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. Thanks for being here, as always. You're fucking legends. Don't you ever forget it. And tell yourself that, too. Don't rely on me to tell you. Until the next one, have a good one. Bye.